Today we're looking at Canva. Now this is a graphic design software right here, and it's free, so you can just go to canva.com. Now I clearly have an account because I use this all the time, but as you can see, you can sign up with Google, you can sign up with Facebook, or you can sign up with email, any of those. But for my case, I'm just going to go ahead and log in, and I guess I'm using my email address. Now, what's really nice is it actually saves all of your previous designs. As you can see, I do use this a lot, like for thumbnails and presentations and all kinds of stuff. But what I want to show you today is how you could use this for putting together, for instance, a sponsorship proposal. And in here, you can even see like create a design. Then there are you can use it for print or social media, presentations, posters. You know, it's even showing you the sizes. So there's 8.5 by 11, or we have another 8.5 by 11. We have a 500 by 500 for a logo. I have created logos in here as well. And I've also used this for social media posts. So, you can use this for ads. Well, we talk less about ads, but YouTube thumbnails, definitely something we use it for a lot. Also Facebook covers. But again, we're definitely talking about proposals in this particular segment. So let's go ahead and click on proposal. And what this is going to do is bring us a brand new document. Now on our left-hand side here, we can choose to put in, one of their templates. And as we scroll by them, or hover on them, you can see that some of these have multi-pages, which is pretty nice. And what we're looking for here is not the content by any means, but what we are looking for is whether we like the fonts, whether we like the basic design, because I like to say I'm a lot of things, but a graphic designer is not one of them. So a lot of times it's easier to start with at least something that we can edit rather than having to create from scratch. So for this particular example, let's go ahead and click on this one. And it's got both of these. We can do that, and there we go, add a new page, and we'll click on this one and it'll add that as a page. So that's pretty slick. And then we could start editing. So here we can say like race team proposal. Obviously you would use your own name in any of this. You can change the picture in the background. Maybe with racing sponsorship, of course, we want to have something giant with the car. So another handy thing with Canva is let's just go ahead and investigate the left-hand side here. So the templates section we're just taking a look at. Next is photos. Now these are photos that are provided by Canva, or you can search. Looks like we can search Photos Pro. So this is some of their stock photography that they have available that you could, they can drop into different, whatever you're doing, So, maybe if you own a restaurant, be like this strawberry photo would be really great. So anyway, stock photography here. Next is elements, and we will be messing with these a little bit in this tutorial. And basically, we have some of the featured grids. We can use charts, frames. Frames are where it creates a section, and when we add a photo to it, it'll just kind of crop it to that particular size. Stickers, I don't usually use these, especially we certainly wouldn't use these in a proposal, but shapes, this may come in handy for some things as well. So we've got lines, and you can see maybe like these social media icons, they might be something to use as well. So just to get you familiar with the different sections. Here's text. Now, what I like about text is in here, maybe there's a certain look you want to go for. Again, not a graphic designer, so these are already designed, and so they can help out, especially with titles. Background, I don't normally mess with this one because this would be these weird backgrounds like this that we wouldn't really apply to what we're doing. And uploads. Now this is a great section because any photos that you upload stay on here for you to use for other projects later on. And then I don't ever use folders really, so we're just not going to worry about that. But let's go ahead, and I want to show you a few things here. So, I wanted to look in the photos and see. I'm sure I've got a race car in here somewhere. So let's see until I get to one where there's actually a race car. Okay, so like here's a race car. This is going to be one of my customers. So maybe when we look at this proposal here, we're going to go ahead and move. We're going to maybe move that up, or we'll move it down. Let's move it up. And this is what's nice. These kind of scoot stuff around. And that red, we can change it to a different color if we wanted to. I think it's actually fine, but maybe we like a bolder red. And if that doesn't do it for us, then we can go ahead and click on this plus button and then kind of scroll around and find a color. You can see that it's changing dynamically, and that makes it nice. Oh, what color was that race car? That race car is blue. So let's make this some type of a blue right here. And there we go. Let's go to the blue spectrum, and then we'll just kind of scroll around and maybe, oh, I don't know. There, that'll work right there. So there's blue. Then we'll go with that. Next, we're going to move this up, and then as proposed by, and this happens to be here. Now, you could do, this is kind of a cool deal here. This proposed to ABC company, presented on a particular date. So that would be, very customized right there. Now, we're going to ixnay this on the bottom. So I'm going to just select it. You can see I'm drawing a box. And then up here, there's this little trash can. So I'm just going to delete those items. Now here, I'm going to go ahead and delete this as well, this background picture, and delete image. Now, as you can see, this is one of those where I called it a frame. So we're going to make this frame smaller. We're going to make it like that. And then we're going to go ahead and drag our photo into that. So there we go. And it's going to automatically kind of crop it to that area. Now that I'm seeing these together, now remember up here we had some text that was just in here. Well, it's white, so white on white doesn't work very well. So we need to go in here, and we can't really see it from here. So down here is the zoom area. So we're going to click on 100% so we can get that a little bit easier. So now I'm going to double click in here. Or there we go. And now that we've selected that text, up here is the text color. And if you can see the font, the size, you make it bold, you do lots of different things, but I'm going to go ahead and change it to black right there. So this, and then I got to find the other one. Okay, there we go. This is the other one. Or if I wanted to, let's do this. We're going to move this for a second so we can actually see this stuff. So there we go. Now I'm going to select that. And again, I'm going to change it to black over here. And now this next section, these are all separate text boxes. So we need to do this same process for each one of these items. There we go. And there's our color, and we'll go back to black. Okay, so now that we were able to do that, we can go ahead and move our, and we're going to go ahead and zoom out again. Go back to 50%. All right, so now we're going to move our blue box. And once again, I don't really like that blue now that I see it with the color, or with the color of the car. So let's go ahead and change that again and try to find something that's a little more blue like the car. Yeah, we're getting closer. Okay, that's not perfect, but that'll work. So there we go. Go ahead and design this to what works best for you. I mean, with this blue box, maybe we make this the entire background of the whole thing. And well, then with that case, we'd probably make this text white again. That text that we just made black. Now, here's an important thing. Now we've covered up our car. We definitely don't want to do that. So all of these graphic elements, think of them almost like when you were a kid and you're layering construction paper to make a collage. And that's all we're doing, is we're just creating a collage, but we want certain things on top of other things. So in this case, we really want this blue to be in the background. So we're going to click on position, and we could click on backward, and then we'd have things start coming up, or we could have said just all the way to the back, whichever goes there. Now with our picture, that looks weird now, so we're going to go ahead and center it a little bit, and there we go. So this is and I would change this text. For this, we're just going to delete this. There we go. So now we don't have to worry about it. All right. So our next page, of course, go into the sponsorship proposal issue so you can really dial in, as far as the content goes. I'm not going to really mess with the content that we're looking at. Just really want to explain some things about how to use the different tools that we have in Canva itself. So let's go ahead and, let's say there's some things that we like on this page. Like maybe we go ahead and use this. This is maybe our benefits page or whatever. And we like the fonts else from here. We're going to add some things. We're going to take some things away. So let's go ahead. We're going to copy this page right here. And maybe this next page here, we want to talk about demographics. So we're going to go ahead and add the word demographics or social media. Again, this is just to show you tools. So we don't like this picture, so we want to change it out. So let's go ahead and let's see if this one, if we can delete that, and that is a frame. So let's just drag this other picture in here. And again, this is just because I have these pictures in here. And now this is I want to show you the tool that I use a ton. And you can see here, maybe we've got this white text. We're going against all these things going on that are going on in the background of this picture. And so we really want our text to pop up, and we still want to show the picture, but it's really secondary to what we're trying to communicate. So I'll show you a trick that I do for this all the time, and it's under elements. And when we scroll to the top of elements, you can see the recently used is right there because I use it all the time. But what I'm looking for is I want a shape, and what I'm going to do with this shape, I'm just going to click on it, and it's going to give me this gray box. Now, when you're doing this, maybe this box will be a different color. It's hard to say. So we're going to resize this box. We're going to put this box right on top of our photo right here. And in fact, if I just do this, it'll line up just like that. And I can even go off the edges if I want to. Now, what I want to do with this is I want to change the color. I'm going to change it to black of all things. And then here, this is the key right here. This is transparency. So that right now is at 100%. It is all the way black. So if I dial this back, it'll start becoming sort of see-through. So if I do that, that is automatically muting the photo behind it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that black box that we've got there, and we're going to make it go backward, because there we go. So now check it out. We still have our image that is readable, but then we have the title right here. Now we're going to pretend that this is like for social media, and that we're going to share like our social media stats. So I want to show you a couple of cool things here. So under charts, let's go ahead and click on charts. And let's say, for instance, that we want to show where our audience is located. I'm just kind of making something up here. So, or ages of our audience. So here we go. We've got this. It's branded because remember our car was blue in this particular case. And now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a whole bunch here. So we can go ahead and with this pie chart. So let's say that our audience numbers like 18 to 24 and 25 to 35, we're looking at ages of our social media following. And then 36 to 44, 45 to, again, I'm just making this up. So, and it looks like you can add some more. So actually it is usually 45 to 54. And then I think it's 55 to 64, and then usually 65 plus. So now, 65 plus, and then we don't need an item 7. So now let's go ahead and break this down, and let's say that that's 10% of our audience. Let's say this is 20, and we've got another 10 here, and 25, and then whatever the difference is here. So let's see, 25, 45, 55. So it looks like, well, let's go, let's make one of these pretty steep. So we'll make this one like 37, and then we'll dial back on one of these other ones. Well, it looks like it's figuring it out anyway. So as long as we put in the big numbers right here, and this is really breaking down our audience. And so we could then put in a title. So let's go ahead and go back to our text area. Now we can put in one of these fancy things, or we can just go ahead and put in, this says heading. Well, that's probably bigger than what we want. So I'm going to push the delete key. Well, actually that just deleted the text. Need to hit that one, the little garbage can, to make it go away. Let's call this a subheading. There we go. And see, when I hover over this, how we get this little icon, that is for moving it. So we're going to move it right here, and we're going to call this like audience age. And then maybe on the left-hand side, we're talking about how we reach a big portion of our audience is people that are 36 to 44. Now, go ahead and we can make this smaller. We can do some different things here. So then maybe we also want to talk in our proposal, we want to talk about the differentiation between men versus women. Now, first of all, let me go ahead and make this a little bit smaller so I can move this stuff around. And at any time, just because that was a subheading, it says it's, font is 24 pixels or whatever it is, the font size is 24. If we want to change that, we certainly can. Maybe we change that to like an 18. That's probably a better choice right there. So now we're going to go and we can copy this because, that way we don't have to recreate it. So to do that, we just click on duplicate. And then I'm going to move this new one, and you can see those little purple lines. It's actually showing us when stuff is lined up. And here it's lined up right under the other one. Now we're going to go ahead and put in another chart here. So again, in Elements, but this time let's use a bar chart, and let's do that one right there. Now we don't have, we've got men versus women, right? So we're not going to have these other items here. And there we go. So men, and let's say men is 30, well, let's go 74%. And then here we have women is going to be the other 26%. I'm only doing this so we can see a chart that is interesting, because it would have differentiation versus just like half and half, because that's kind of boring. So there we go. I'm going to take this out. And there we go. Now we have two bars, and I don't know what happened there. There we go. So now we have two bars, and then we can just go ahead and we can make this smaller. So that's working. And then let's go ahead and make it smaller that way. So you can see that it's pretty clear what's going on there. And there we go. So we can drop that in there. And that communicates a lot with a sponsor and being able to talk about your demographics. Let's see if there's any other items that I use a ton. Let's see the text, as I mentioned, if we wanted to do some fancy text and if we can layer things on top of each other, let's just go ahead and add a new page just so I can show you that. So maybe we want to do a background with one of our big photos. Let's see something big here that we'd want to do. Let's see. I'm looking for something that's maybe sort of vertical, and I'm not really seeing any vertical shots. Let's just go ahead and do that anyway. And we're just going to make this really big like that. Okay. And now maybe we want to add a text box. And so we're going to go to our elements, and remember we were in charts before. We have to X out of here. And now we want to add a square. Now our square is actually going to be a rectangle. So we're going to move this and make, this really isn't a text box, but it's how I'm going to use it. So first I'm going to line this up, and there we go. It's in the center, and I want it to be white. So I'm going to click on that color and make it white. Next up, for the text, I'm going to go ahead and put in a subheading, because this is maybe the title of whatever it is that we're talking about. And then we're going to add in some body text. I'm not sure. I think I did that wrong. So we're going to do an undo. I'm going to just do Control Z and undo. I guess it's not working. So we're going to delete that. You can either click on it or you can drag it. So I'm going to click that. There we go. And now we're going to move that right here. And then just because I don't actually have anything written up here, I'm going to just do a bunch of copying of words here. So there we go. Okay, so here's another good tip right here. So it's just adjusting this text based on how much text I need. It's adjusting the size of the box, and apparently it's trying to say that it's in the center. So we don't really want that text in the center. We want it to read like something normal. So if I click it again, it's left. It's not really a presentation thing. We want it to be left aligned, and that way it's all on the left-hand side. It's not meant to be a title. And of course we want it to fit in this box. So we're going to go ahead and just resize that text box right there. And now all of that text fits just like that. So, and again, if you wanted to, you could put another square over the top of this and do the filter. Oh, speaking of filters, let's go ahead and click on that too. So if we click on the photo, it does have some filter options here. So this is with none, with sometimes, you'll notice in the workbook that I actually did use grayscale quite a bit. You might do something that fits with your brand and it's the right thing for you. But, it's kind of like using an Instagram or Snapchat, how you can use those different filters. That's kind of a cool effect. But, really in this one, that sky is so cool. And since we're able to layer a white box over the top of this photo, it's actually just fine. Once you have all the items into your proposal and it's time to download them, I want to show you how easy that is to do. So at the top right here, and just another thing too, is we can go ahead and change the name of this particular document, whether it's a document or it's just one photo or whatever the case may be, we can go ahead and change that. Just select it and then we could, select it and retype. The next thing we can do, I don't usually use the share button, but we can click here for download. And when we click on download, it gives us different options. So of course, with a proposal, we want to use PDF. So you may want to use standard because it's a smaller file size, or if you wanted to make a really a higher quality, it's going to be a larger file size. You could use the PDF print, which is going to be a little bit higher quality. I've never used their video section right here. That's brand new. As you can see, it's in beta. That really doesn't apply to this particular thing. The other ones that would apply would maybe be PNG or JPEG. These are great for like creating your, social media posts, thumbnails and things like that, where it's just one item. But really for this, we want to do a PDF. Now here again, print is something that means you could take it to the printers and print it like at Staples. I've certainly done that. And what's nice is Canva, you can go ahead and order prints from them as well and pick out what you want to do. But the easy thing is we're going to click on, see with the PDF standard, it would ask us, and there we go, order prints. But that's not really what I want to do. I want to do that PDF print where it's nicer. And then here we have all 4 of our pages. You can select if you just wanted one page at a time, and then we can click on a download. Now what's going to happen is there it is, preparing your design. And in the bottom, we're going to see it show up here shortly. Or at least that's how it works with the Chrome browser. It may be different on different browsers. And then we're going to see it down here, and then we'll be able to open it and view it as well. So it only takes just a few moments, and it's kind of fun. They always have a little quote there. And here's showing our cover photo right here, and we can just go ahead and close this. Now that we've got this file, we can go ahead and save this to a folder. We can move it. We can do whatever we want. We can go ahead and just open that up and take a look. Now this is showing us full view. Let's go ahead and minus this a little bit. I would say minus, it's zoom. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. And we're seeing our little fake proposal right here and all the things that we did, and we can see exactly how it would print. From here, we can save it. We can download it to our computer, save it somewhere, decide where it's going to save. We can print it. We can do lots of things with it. So that is how to use Canva in order to create your sponsorship proposal. And I hope this helps you. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.